Hello there. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Brown Jewels. Hello, how you doing? I'm Ralph Brown. Thanks for coming back to the podcast. How are things with you? No, how are you really? I fucking hate when people do that. Hate it. Don't do that to people. It's very uncomfortable. Well, anyway, what's been going on? A lot of comedy stuff been going on. A lot of gigs have been happening. Gigs in The Stand, Monkey Barrel, golf clubs, spandex. And I've just not mentioned them because they've all been good. There's not been any car crashes. And as you know, I love a good car crash gig story when I die on my little hoop. So none of them have happened. So unfortunately, I can't tell you about them. I mean, the only eventful thing was on Monday night at Free For All, the open mic I was hosting at Monkey Barrel. A guy got up on stage and it was so fucked for his very first gig. He couldn't even talk. He was barely even able to stand up. He came all the way from Carlisle, which I think is about 2 hours away from Edinburgh, all the way for his very first gig. Got so shit-faced, he couldn't even stand still on the stage. It looked like he was going to fall off. He also looked extremely mental and just started running into like loads of like mad shit, but it wasn't even making sense. He started mumbling and then he just stopped talking. He said, I can't remember what I've got to say. Drove all the way up for a 5-minute set and got played off at 2 minutes 30. Yeah, you love to see it. But apart from that, not a lot has been going on. Apart from, wait a minute. Got news about a show in Glasgow that I'm doing as part of the Glasgow Comedy Festival. Yes, forgot about this. I'm doing a show on the 30th of March, Saturday the 30th of March at 7:15pm in a place called Van Winkle. And I am doing a show called My First Hostage Situation. And yes, it's first. I'm not saying it's the last. I do not want to rule out I'm not going to be involved in another one of these things. I'm doing a full show all about the gun getting pointed at my fucking face, the hostage situation that happened at the Fringe. So, writing a full show on that, and that's not till March, but I've been writing my wee cock off already, trying to make this show like a proper, full show. The kind of thing that I've been saying, I should probably do that, I should probably try and write a show. I think I've been saying for years, I'm finally doing it. So, shout out to the gunman for giving me so much to work with, and there is still so much to cover. All the little bits I did in August, just towards the end of the month or during the month, whatever. There was so many bits I didn't mention that happened that night. As I'm writing it, I'm like, I can't fucking believe this happened to me. And there's so many other little coincidences, all these little strange things that have happened, all the things that he was talking about. I'm like, this is gold. So if you're in Glasgow, come along to the show. It's gonna be fun. And if you're one of these people like, I won't bring my gun to the show, will I? Shut up. The jokes have been done. Fucking move on and get over it. So yeah, get yourself a ticket if you're not one of those shitty wee guys. Tickets are only like £6. The room only holds about 40, so it's not exactly a massive room, but come along and you'll enjoy it. And before we get into this week's episode of the Brown Jewels, here's a little reminder to just do all the wee things. Share, review, do all that stuff. Join the Brown Jewels Patreon from as little as £3 a month. Do all that stuff. Support the podcast. Tell friends. Do all that stuff. I love it when you do it. I mean, that's a very terrible, shocking job of trying to promote this podcast. Go and leave a nice review on Apple Podcasts. Forgot what it was called there. Apple Podcasts. Go and do that. Leave a little 5-star review on Spotify. And if you would like to support the podcast in a more class way, other than just listening every week, if you want to throw a bit more extra support, join the Patreon. You get early episodes. You get them before anyone else. You then get extra content. I've got some reviews of gigs on there. Me dying on my hole as an early stand-up back in like 2016. Me looking over those videos and going, what a shit little guy I was. And you also get extended podcast episodes with the guests. You don't get the kind of full thing on the public thing. There's just an extra wee bit that you get when you join the Patreon. You get to hear more from the guests. Anyway, let's get into this week's episode. It is a solo podcast episode. I've not done one of these in a while, and you know what? It was actually a lot of fun to record. So here it is. This week's episode with me on the Brown Jules. It's me. It's Ralph Brown. Anyway, here it is. Enjoy. I'm not one to slag off young people, apart from all the times that I slag off young people on a daily basis. However, young people are so fucked, man. They don't stand a chance. For the third time in the last week, I've seen headlines, read stories about how young people are into like fucking robots and having cyber sex. Good old cyber sex with chatbots. What are you doing, young people? I mean, they're not listening to this. There's not a chance to listen to this, but talk to them. What are they doing? These young idiots are actually going on record, speaking in interviews about how they're doing this. And I'm like, what's wrong with these people? What is wrong with these weird little people that are just confessing this shit? I don't understand it, man. There's one guy, I'm not joking, he's sent in like a modelling picture of himself. He's 27. He just looks like a total normal guy. He's like a marketing executive, and he's like done an interview with the newspaper talking about how much he loves to use a thing called Slutbot. What are you doing, Joe? Why is no one intervening it with Joe and going, alright mate, I get that you're into that, but maybe don't go shouting about it and have it online for the rest of your life, man. Imagine having to sit next to him at the Christmas night out. What else are you going to talk about? Like, alright Joe, how are things getting on with you and Mrs. Slutbot? How are things going? You fucking mad bastard. Why are they not keeping this themselves? I don't get why they're being so open about this. This is mental. And look, there's some people going like out there originally, don't you kink shame, how dare you kink shame. I don't believe in like being horrible to people about it, but you can fucking definitely slag them about it. There's no fucking way if I go to the newspaper and do an interview and then put myself out there talking about how I'm texting something called a slutbot, that I'm not getting absolutely rinsed by friends, family, neighbours, passers-by in the street. That's not the world we live in where that's not getting brought up and you're not getting slagged for it. And just to add another layer to this, they're not only doing this, they're not only texting, they're paying for the privilege. They're paying hundreds of pounds for the privilege of just texting a fucking robot. Not only is that stupid, but that means, and it will happen, let's be so clear on this, and this will happen. There will come a time when these chat logs are leaked from the AI slutbots, and oh my god, game over. Surely there's got to be a better way. Why is it getting to the point where you're getting so turned on by your keyboard, you're going, fucking hell, this is getting a bit steamy? Because let's be honest, having cyber sex with a chatbot is a gateway drug. It's a gateway to having a full-blown sex robot. And you can say what you want, but they're fucking strange people that are doing this. They're weird people. I mean, actually, now that I've had a second to think about it, as always, what happens with these things, when I go, oh, that's bad, that's stupid, that's weird, I go, oh, wait a minute, that could actually be class, that could work out in everyone's favour. Maybe if all these weird people are just locking themselves away fucking robots to death, then they'll just leave the rest of us alone. I remember watching that Joaquin Phoenix film, Can't remember who is it Spike Lee or Spike Jonze? I can never remember which of the guys, Spike Lee or Spike Jonze. That was out 10 years ago, and I remember watching that at the cinema at the time and going, there's no way that's happening in our lifetime. There's not a chance that anyone's ever going to be doing that anytime soon. And yet here we are in 2023, and teenagers are fucking wanking themselves to death talking to slutbots. I'll never understand it. I don't think I ever want to understand it. And look, if you do it, if you're into it, good luck to you. But I mean, please. In fact, you know what? If you're into it, yeah, send me a wee private message. Send a wee thing. All the contact things are in the episode description. You can email anything like that. Or is there a way? Oh, I've got that anonymous messaging app. You can do that. Anonymous messaging app. If you're into that, tell me why you're doing it. Because I don't think I fully understand. Okay, let's talk about shame. Let's talk about some shameful acts. Nothing to do with robots. We're moving on past that. Yes, we've judged them, and this is only fair. I judge people, and I put myself forward for judgment. That's how this podcast goes. I've told a few people this now, and when I tell them what I did, I mean, at the time, I'm thinking, I thought I was bad at the time, and then I've told people, and they've gone, oh, that's worse. You can be the judge of it. You might actually do this as well. I think I'm not going to be the only one. There's no way I'm the only one that does this. Right, and I kind of already feel like I'm maybe building this up too much. I'm making it sound like there's some kind of like weird kink or something here. I've been caught like fucking an octopus or something like that. It's not anything like that. And I mean, if I was going to do that, I definitely wouldn't film it, make a documentary about it, and chuck it on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher. That guy definitely fucked the octopus, and we all know it. It's not anything like that. It's a very, very different kind of shame. It's more food shame. I've spoken on this podcast before about my love for sugar, chocolate, cakes. Yeah, sometimes I'll just buy myself a cake and I'll have the whole cake. I'm not proud of it, but I love it. And if you didn't know that, welcome to my life. Here's how my life goes. I have any kind of meal at any point during the day, and as soon as I've finished that meal, or not even, I'll be honest, full honesty, I've not even started that meal, and as soon as I'm starting it, or midway through, or just ending it, I'll be like, I really want some chocolate, I want a cake, I want something, something, I'm craving it, and I need it now. It's not healthy, I know, it's not healthy, it's not great, I get that, but I can't help it. And this normally involves me not being prepared either, as I'm never prepared. So then, if it gets like late at night, I've just like finished like food, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, right, I need to then get dressed and go out to the shops to get chocolate, to get that fix. And sometimes I do it, it doesn't feel great, but I do it. Sometimes if it's later than that, I'll get on to Deliveroo, and I will find a late night dessert place, and I will pay someone to deliver it to my door like a little fucking pig. And that's like last resort stuff. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go out and get an entire Toblerone, and that is my go-to. I will literally become Alan Partridge and fully addicted to Toblerone. I've definitely mentioned this on the podcast before. I'll just inhale an entire Toblerone, and that's me done for the night. But I have done these late night Deliveroo, Uber Eats, whatever you want to call it, all those things. I've had the puddings. See, when you call it puddings, it's actually worse. See, when I'm just saying I get cake delivered to my door, that's not that bad. When I say I get a pudding, I get myself a wee pudding delivered to the door. Now, I know some of you, a lot of you, will get food delivered to your door. But ask yourself, do you do this? Tell me, please tell me, other people do this. If you've not, it's very easy to do, and I really wish more people would get on board with it. What you do is you go into somewhere like Deliveroo, and then you sort by dishes, and then you select dessert. Then you select the top-rated the top-rated company that's nearest to you, because you want it fucking quick. You select your dessert, then you realise you've got to spend over £15 to make the minimum order value. Then you need to add something else into the basket. And it will cross your mind, you'll go, can I have 2 desserts? Sometimes you will say yes, other times you will go, no, I'll just add in like 4 cans of Coke to make the order limit. Then you realise you're paying a lot of money to have one little thing delivered to your door. You need to realise, are you willing to pay over £20 to have this delivered to your door? The answer is probably yes if you've got this far. Whatever you do at this point in the transaction, do not look at how far away the restaurant is from your front door. Do not do this under any circumstances, because that's when the shame kicks in even more, because then you are then realising you are asking someone to cycle, more than likely, to cycle maybe 35 minutes to put a fucking cake into your mouth. Now you have to accept what is a acceptable distance for someone to do this? I say it can't be more than 35 minutes. Any more than that, and it's just insane. You're asking someone to travel over 35 minutes to give you some pudding, some late night pudding. And for the love of God, tip these people. Tip them. Tip them more than you normally tip. Because when you open that door, you've got to look in the whites of someone else's eye, another human being. You need to look in their eyes, and you need to know that you have sufficiently compensated them for this ridiculous journey that they've just made across a city. And then take your pudding inside, take it indoors, and do what you must with it. I mean, just eat it. Don't do anything else weird with it. Now, if you're okay with all that, go for it. Knock yourself out. Enjoy it. It's class. Do it as much as you want. But then there's another level to this, which is where my massive amounts of shame come in. This is where I'm just... This is what I've been telling people, and they've gone, you shitty little pig. You've got a problem. I was away down in London last week, staying in a hotel. And I think some of you can already see where this is going. I'd been out for food late at night. I got back to the hotel room at about 11 o'clock. I had been scouting for places on the way home to get a wee fix, and I got nothing. I got nothing in London. What in the fuck is wrong with that city? I thought that was meant to be like a city that doesn't sleep. I thought it was meant to be like a level, like same par as New York. It slept. It was sound asleep. There was nothing open. It was a Monday night, to be fair. But London, you are pathetic. That is embarrassing to not even have shops open that late. So I get back to the hotel room and I'm like, right, Ralphie boy, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We need a fix. And I sat there and I contemplated it. And I thought, am I going to do this? Am I going to pay someone to deliver some kind of pudding to my hotel room? Am I actually going to do this? And I thought about it for about 30 seconds and I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm 100% doing it. I fired up the Deliveroo app. I sorted by dishes, hit desserts, and lo and behold, there's a place called Heavenly Desserts. Heavenly Desserts. Now, I have frequented the Edinburgh branch of this. They have furnished me with some late night puddings before. I posted one of these to my Instagram stories last month. It was a tray of cookie dough with some salted caramel sauce over the top of it in a box, and it looked like someone had shat in a box. The salted caramel sauce had not travelled well, and it just looked like shit. But tasted incredible and hit the spot. So when I saw Heavenly Desserts pop up as an option, I was like, oh, that's a sign. It's a sign. It's meant to be. I ordered that exact same box of shite. The exact same thing, because I was like, I hope they do it better. I really want this. I'm craving it. I need it. I need it now. So I ordered it, then made the rookie mistake of seeing it was 40 minutes away, and I was like, I'm breaking my rules. This needs to get to my door as soon as possible. So I'm not proud of this. I am not proud of this. And as I was telling people face to face, their faces were kind of like dropping more and more as I told this story. Then comes the extra layer of shame that you don't have to normally do, because you're ordering a hotel. You need to give extra instructions. And this is where I felt the most sleazy I've ever felt in my life. Because I had to put a wee note into the delivery driver, and I had to say, like I was ordering some kind of like sex robot or some kind of fucking inflatable shagging toy, something like that. I had to then say to this person, like, I'll come and meet you at reception. And as I typed, I'll come and meet you at reception, I was just like, oh, this is not great, Ralph. This is a rock bottom in your career of ordering desserts to your door. It felt like a really like a shady like drug deal or something like that. It felt like just pretty creepy that I would have to get dressed, go down to the reception of a hotel lobby where there's going to be people around. And there was. Trust me, there was a lot of people around for this transaction. I didn't think there would be, but apparently about 40 people were coming back in from a shitty wee Christmas work night out or something like that already. They had fucking party hats on and tinsel. They all just happened to be coming into the lobby as I come down. And I had to sit watching this little bike, because you know when you like order it on Deliveroo, it'll show you like the icon of the type of the vehicle you're using. I was honestly sitting there like with my fingers crossed, praying to everything, praying to anyone that was willing to listen, that a wee car icon would have popped up and it would have made me feel a bit better, but it didn't. It was a bike, and a guy had to cycle 40 minutes across London at about 11:30 at night on a very cold, miserable, rainy night to give me a cake, a pudding, a dessert, and I felt like scum. No tip could have taken away the shame. No tip. Tipped him well. I tipped him well. But nothing could take away the shame from this. I watched as the dot moved closer and closer towards my hotel, and I was just like, right, I need to go down and meet this guy at reception. So get down there. I'm like, excuse me, coming through the people in the lobby, and as he's getting there, he walks in. Loads of people clock what's happening. Loads of this little shitty party have clocked what is going down here. He'd kind of like cycled a bit into the lobby, which I was like, don't do this, mate. I'll meet you. I should have said I'll meet you out in the street. I should have said I'll meet you in an alleyway, like 20 minutes away, just to get this. But he kind of came in, and then he made this such a fucking song and dance about getting off his bike. He was like huffing and puffing, undoing his like he took his helmet off. He was undoing his wee gloves, all so he could then just take out his bag and handed it over to me. And I've never felt so much judgment in my life, because he barely even spoke, which it spoke volumes. The amount he didn't speak said all I needed to hear, because he just looked at me and he was kind of just like disappointed in me. He felt like he was disappointed in me. I was disappointed in myself. I need everyone to know that. He was disappointed in me. I'm sure some of the people at Christmas party were disappointed in me. Everyone did not feel good about this transaction. And like a pathetic little worm, like a little fucking rodent, I tried to get in his good books, and I went, "Oh, did you get a tip? Did you get a tip?" Now I realise since then that I tipped him well for Scotland, because as we all know, we're tight, stingy bastards. So I probably gave him a shit tip. Like by London standards, by like cost of living down there. I probably humiliated him with this tip I gave him, because he just looked at me dead in the eyes and just went, "Yeah, I got it. That's it. Yeah, I got it." Not a sign, a sniff of a thank you. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've under-tipped him. But he put his wee helmet on and he got back on his bike and he disappeared off into the night. I then had to navigate through the Christmas party who are still there with my big giant brown bag. It looked huge. It looked like I'd ordered like a feast for 9. This bag was huge. It didn't need to be that big. So I had to get through them, get through all the judgment, get to the left, get in the left, go upstairs, and then just sit in a hotel room alone and eat a tray of cookie dough with caramel sauce, salted caramel sauce, that once again looked like a box of shit. Again, it looked worse, because it obviously travelled further. And I don't know what the London branch of Heavenly Desserts would be doing, but it also tasted like a box of shite. So I've gone through all that. Look, I've said this about 10 times on this a little bit. I'm not proud of what I did, but I finished it. I finished the whole tray of cookie dough with the salted caramel sauce. I wasn't happy with that. I didn't feel good. I wanted to be sick. It made me feel like I wanted to be sick. It made me feel like I needed to shit in a box. That's how it made me feel. And look, would I do it again? Would I do it again? I mean, I can already foresee it happening. Maybe if other people say that they've done it, might make me feel a bit better. Maybe you might think, I've just fucking wasted my time listening to a podcast about a guy eating cookie dough in a hotel room by himself. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest as young Joe and his good old friend, the Slutbot. Oh my god, please, if anyone uses it, please do message. I cannot wait to hear from people. And you never know. You might change my mind. You fucking won't, but I just try to say that, so you'll message in. Please do message in. Anyway, that is this episode all done. We've got more guests coming back up in the next few weeks, so thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.